All right, so we are going to start taking a look at exponent rules, and we are starting with our multiplying and power to power rules. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is we are always going to start by rewriting our expression in expanded form, and then we can regroup any like variables. Okay, and a big thing to remember is that regular numbers get treated regularly. Okay, so exponents like these guys, you're going to treat differently than like the 2 and the 4 there that are just regular numbers. 2 and 4, those are regular numbers. You know how to deal with a 2 and a 4. All right, so let's take a look at these examples. So first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these and write them out in expanded form. So remember, x to the third, that means that you're multiplying 3 x's together. Okay, so I'm multiplying 3 x's together. That's what x to the third is. And x to the fifth means that I'm multiplying 5 x's together. Okay, so I'm multiplying these 3 x's and those 3 x's, right? See how when I list it all out like that, it looks like it's just a whole bunch of x's? So how many x's are there? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 x's, right? So that simplifies to x to the 8th. And there we go. That's our answer. Okay, this guy right here, we're going to do the same thing. So 4x squared, that means a 4 and 2 x's, right? So it's 4 times x times x. Okay, and then we're multiplying that by 2 and then x to the third, so it's 2 times 3 x's. Okay, so from there, then I can kind of regroup. The 4 and the 2, you can just multiply those like normal numbers. What's 4 times 2? Oh, it's 8. And then I'm multiplying a whole bunch of x's together, right? You can multiply things in any order that you want. Just like how 4 times 2 is the same as 2 times 4. Since this is all multiplication, I can regroup. And I can say that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's here. So that's x to the fifth. And there we go. That's our answer. Okay, this guy. So this means a negative 2. There's 1 x. And then 3 y's all being multiplied together. Okay, and on this side, we're multiplying that by a 5 times 2 x's, right, times 2 y's. As I'm recording this video, Ruby the cat is sitting in my lap, and she keeps reaching up onto the table to try to steal my pens. I have to keep taking them away from her. All right, so negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. And then I'm going to look at the x's. I've got 1x here, 2, 3. So that's 3 x's, x to the third. And then for the y's, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y to the fifth. Ruby, get down. Get down. Sorry, Ruby the cat just jumped up onto the table to go after things more properly. Okay, so there we go. That's our simplified expression. So not too bad. All right, so now let's take a look at these guys. These ones are a little bit different, okay? Because now, see how we've got the parentheses with another exponent? So it's like we got a thing with an exponent and it's raised to an exponent. All right, well, let's break this down. So what that means, this little guy up here is telling me that I'm multiplying this thing times itself. There's 2 copies, right? So this means I'm doing 2x to the third times 2x to the third, right? That's what exponents mean. Well, now that we've looked at it that way, now it's just like these problems, right? So this means 2 times 3 x's. And this one means 2 times 3 x's. So when I look at this, I can multiply 2 and 2 and get 4. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. And by definition, multiplying 6 as x's together is x to the 6th. That's what it means. So there we go. There's our simplified answer. All right, this guy right here. So again, this exponent on the outside means that you're going to have 4 copies of the stuff on the inside, right? So it's telling me that I'm doing 3x to the fifth times 3x to the fifth times 3x to the fifth times 3x to the fifth. 4 copies of 3x to the fifth. All right, so now I'm going to write it out in expanded form. I'm going to have to write really small to get this all to fit, right? So I'm going to have a 3 and then 5 x's. And then another 3 with another 5 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then I'm going to have another 3 with another 5 x's. And then I'm going to have another 3 with another 5x's. Woof, got them all to fit. So I can multiply the 3's together. So I'm going to have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. So that's 81. And then how many x's do I have? Well, there's 5 here and 5 and 5 and 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's 20 x's altogether. So it's 81 x to the 20th. And there we go. Okay, last problem. So this one, right, this 3 on the outside means you've got 3 copies, right? And I think I'm going to come down here and do this so I have a little more room. So this means I have 4xy cubed times 4xy cubed times 4xy cubed. So I've got a 4 and an x with 3 y's, and then another 4 and an x and 3 y's, and then another 4 and an x and 3 y's, right? So when I multiply this all together, 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64. And I've got 1, 2, 3 x's. And then 3, 6, 9. There's 9 y's altogether. And that's it. That's my answer. Okay? So as long as you know what an exponent means, as long as you know that it means that it just tells you how many times you write something out, simplifying these problems is really easy. You just write up how many there are, and you're all good to go. Okay, so that is how you use the multiplying and power to power rules. When you're multiplying together two things that have exponents, or when you're raising something with an exponent to an exponent. That's what power to power means. It's got a power raised to another power.